Congratulations, Jo Koy, your first feature film and the first Filipino-American movie that's being distributed by American Studio.
Yeah, major studio.
Major
Let's go.
studio. So talk about the significance of this film for you.
It's everything. This is like a chance for us to, give us a voice. We get to be seen. You know what I mean? We're not invisible anymore or pretend to be invisible. You know what I mean? Like this is the flag that we get to wave high, and not only is it a win for Filipinos, but it's a win for everybody, the AAPI community and everyone else.
Why is representation important in Hollywood?
I'll just be more specific and why is it important for me? It's like, I'm in love with stand-up comedy and I was in love with movies. But as a kid growing up, there was nothing that looked like me. There was nothing that sounded like my mom. There was nothing. So when I would see little tiny, and this is not uh, Easter eggs, what I mean? This isn't a pun, but like if I saw an Easter egg in a movie, um, it would just make me light up because I felt like I had an identity. Like when I saw uh, Rob Schneider say Babinka. When he made a movie called Deuce Bigelow, he said Babinka. And when he said Babinka as a kid, even though it's a Filipino dessert and no one knew what it was in the theater, it meant everything to me because I felt like, okay, there's a Filipino in this movie. And that inspired me as a kid, And then I also found out that he was half Filipino like me. So now I was like, oh, okay, so I can make it. Or when I found out that Tia Carrere was Filipino, or when I found out Dante Bosco was Filipino. Those were inspirational and gave me an identity. And that's why representation for me is so important because that little word got me to do this movie, got me to be here and motivated me to pursue stand-up and become an actor and make this movie. So just imagine what this movie is going to do for the future.
And most of your comedy acts and also your mother inspired you to be a comedian right now.
Yeah.
So talk about your mom, and did she see the movie already, and what's her reaction?
She won't see it until the premiere. Like the whole family hasn't seen it. So they get to see it on the premiere. And of course she's going to love it. This is incredible.
And the involvement of Steven Spielberg in this film. Talk about
Unbelievable. Like this is the guy that gave me the deal. Like, shout out to Dan Lin over at Rideback. We had the verbal deal there. And but Steven came on board and was a big fan when he saw my special. It was called Coming in Hot. He was shooting West Side Story and took a break and watched my special and brought me in and wanted to make a movie with me, and I pitched Easter Sunday. They bought it in the room, and fast forward to this. It's a fairy tale what's happening right now.
And talk about the involvement of these legends, Tia Carrere and Diamond Phillips.
I had to have them in the movie. Like I said earlier, like they were my inspiration. They're the reason why I knew I could make it in this business because they did it. So when I got this movie deal, that was the first thing I asked for. I was like, we got to have Lou Diamond in here somehow. We got to give him like a sick role, where he gets to play him. And of course there's Tia. Like I got to get Tia in here. And that's the main reason why they're in this movie. And I didn't want anyone else to play those characters but them.
And among the cast members, who surprised you the most?
Me. I'm not gonna lie, I was so damn nervous. I never worked so hard in my life before. I mean, in between scenes, I was calling my acting coach, and and thank God for my cast, like Eugene Cordero and Lydia Gaston and God Rodney Toe. I mean, all of them, Melody, Elaine, all of them, Eva. It was just like I was surrounded by champions. And I would literally go to them for help. I would literally like ask them, and they were coaching me nonstop. So Asif Ali, Jimmy O Yang, like it was great. So I'm not saying that to brag. I was just like, thank God I was not making a fool of myself with all these great actors and actresses. By the way, Lydia Gaston knocked the movie out of the park.
And you also are wearing so many hats here, like executive producer and actor. So talk about juggling all these activities and responsibilities.
that's what you got to do if you want to make it in this business, man. You got to wear all the hats. You know, a lot of people come here and they think, oh, I got what it takes to make it. Man, no, you don't. This Hollywood is it's a beast, and you might want to learn everything, you know, and yeah. So executive producer was, you know, I'm so happy that they blessed me with that title because I was in every step of the way, everything. You
And
know,
if you had a chance to change anything or to add a scene that's very Filipino, what would it be?
I think we did it. I think we nailed everything, and I wouldn't want to add anything else. You know, I I wanted to tell this story and not overdo it, but just give enough to understand. You know, because the most important part was it's just about a family, and that's it. There's no titles, no nothing. That's a family. That's a mom. That's a son. That's a grandson. That's a daughter. That's an aunt. You know, and that's an uncle, and it's just a family. And we're gonna laugh, cry, and love at the same time.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah.
That was fun.